Have you ever looked through charts and all you see is shit, just shit piled on even worse shit? So much that you start to lose hope in Roblox games, if you haven't already. I mean, what is this? No, why is this? Well, this is exactly what we're covering today, and I'm going to go over every single reason why Roblox games are so bland. So here we go. With the hunt now underway, this year feels even worse than last year. There's nothing worth playing. Nothing Roblox can really show off. The hunt is meant to be the event where Roblox gets to show off all their amazing games, and well, there's nothing really to show off here, besides maybe one or two. Well, that's the problem. There are many games to show off. It's just Roblox doesn't really care, to put it bluntly. The collection of games here are the games that Roblox makes the most money off of, not the ones with the most quality or the most effort. No, what even is that? So we arrived at problem number one, Roblox's algorithm. One of the main reasons why Roblox games are so bland is because, well, you're looking in the wrong areas, my friend. And to be honest, I can't really blame you. Most people don't want to put the effort into scouring Roblox in search of good games to play, because that would take a long time, depending on what you're looking for. For some others, like me, this isn't a problem since my recommended page is full of actually decent games. Now, you might be wondering, DynasTube, how the hell do I get my page to look like yours? It's simple really, be more picky. When you're looking for games to play, don't just play something because you're bored and you have to because there's nothing else to really play. Actively search for games you're interested in. For example, RPGs. Don't play Blox Fruits, because all you're going to get is absolute violations to the gaming community. Look for games that actually have depth to it. When you load into a game, just note if it has interesting visuals, fancy UI, or diverse gameplay. If it does, then that's a good sign that you should keep playing to try it. But if you load into a game and it looks like this, or like this, then leave immediately. Oh, and don't forget to add that cheeky dislike too. The point is, you won't be supporting horrible games if you just don't play them. Simple. Now, for others, you may not be running into this problem, which is fine. That brings us to problem number two, lack of diversity. Well, I'm sure you guys all know what battlegrounds games are. Well, they are the perfect example of unoriginality. Once TSP gained popularity, many other developers saw the opportunity and jumped in. Since Battlegrounds games are based on animes, there's an excuse for copying TSP, since they can just say, oh, but I wanted a JJK Battlegrounds, for example. Well, it may not seem like it, but this was the perfect excuse, because no one cared about the fact that it was copied, they just care about the fact that their favourite anime got turned into a cool fighting game with good visual. Nowadays, Battlegrounds games are still being made. Now instead of anime, we're getting stickmen. Now, I can't really say I dislike Battlegrounds games. I mean, most of my videos are about them after all. They are fun, but then you realise how Battlegrounds is the only one more thing adding to the pile of unoriginal Roblox games. 99% of them don't innovate, they copy, but where's the innovation? Oh, I have fancy graphics, play my game! Even the ones that do innovate, they're technically still far from major changes. And it's still copied because it's based on the same combat system. Well, you might say, but DynasTube, this is how genres are made. Yes, that is technically true, but genres are a key term for games that follow the same basic principle. It's a vague collective term. Battlegrounds games don't innovate at all. They don't change anything major. The key difference with genres is that it's only a core principle, not the entirety of the game. You could say, oh, but it's hard to innovate a Battlegrounds game. No, it isn't at all. Just get creative, maybe make the map bigger instead of some same small area. Maybe add some more areas to explore, add some more stuff to the combat system, maybe change how certain things work. The thing is, I wouldn't technically accept if you only did one change and not multiple, because that's just being lazy. The thing is though, it's not accidental, there's a big reason. It's not just Battlegrounds games that don't innovate, and it's glaringly obvious. Let's take Dead Rails for example. Why has this game soared to 700,000 players, even above Blox Fruits? So I'm sure you guys have all heard of A Dusty Trip, a game where you would drive a car down this barren desert and find landmarks to try and upgrade it or fuel it so you can survive long enough to reach the end. Simple concept, it blew up. it was averaging 100k players a few months ago. Now it's dropped all the way down to 20k. Why? Well, it's because of dead rails. I'm not saying Dusty Trip was a good game at all. No, it sucks. Why did it get popular? Because it was simple for little kids to understand, and for some people above the age of 12. Would play it because it's so bad that it's funny. Now, the creators of Dead Rails understood this concept very well, in fact. Not only are they lazy developers, they also know that Dusty Trip has amazing potential. They knew the concept was funny, simple, and interesting enough to keep anyone entertained because of the exploration side of it and the randomness of the structures. All they had to do was copy the principle, change it so it doesn't look like a blatant copy, make it better, put a little bit more effort into the gameplay, and boom, success ready to be exploited. But the main reason it got popular is because it's recognizable. Young kids don't want to put the effort into playing complicated games or understanding high-level concepts. The fact that it's recognizable is the first step to make sure your player base will play it in the first place and not leave. The barren desert, the long road into the distance, and the simple UI and gameplay resembles a Dusty Trip perfectly. So much that a new player will think, oh, I recognize this from a Dusty Trip, a game I already enjoyed, so surely this will be good if it's like a Dusty Trip. So, your player base is hooked. Now all you need to do is reel them in. That comes in with the gameplay. It's definitely superior to a Dusty Trip. They introduced enemies and threats to make the game more challenging, and the fact that the train stops almost all the time forces you to go out of the train and explore the structures, then die and repeat the process, because you want to finish. It's simple psychology. A game like Dead Rails has a clear start and finish point. Most players will want to get to the finish line, so they feel the satisfaction of completing the game. The fact that you have to constantly stop and you constantly die means you have to retry. And cleverly, there's no checkpoints, because if there was, then that means they would finish the game quicker and then lose interest in easier and play something else. The fact that beating the game is so hard that it's a flex is a reason to keep grinding it. Then step 2 is done. You successfully baited the audience of a Dusty Trip to play your game instead, because it follows the same principle, but just much better, which guarantees around 80k players. Now that your game is popular, Roblox is obviously going to recommend it because it sees how much money they can make off your game. If you're a new game like Dead Rails, once you go past a certain amount of players, it will just mean your player base will skyrocket due to the fact that Roblox is pushing your game out to more people. Since it's a new game, people will be curious to play it, since it has a good player base. Then they get hooked, and that means more and more players. Yes, that's practically how Dead Rails got successful. Hey, I might be wrong, but honestly, I know that I'm not. Any dev with a big enough brain can see the potential of ripping off other games, making it better, and abusing the popularity and recognizability of the newfound audience to get filthy rich. Well, why did I just yap that much to explain that? It's so you, my viewer, can understand how stupidly scummy this is. Anyone can get a popular game if they just use and abuse another person's already successful idea, because in the grand scheme of things, people don't care if it's copied, especially young kids, so you're unlikely to get much backlash. Dead Rails is only one example of this. So many other games on Roblox are copied or tailored to young kids because that's what the majority of the Roblox player base is. Kids are stupid, so they like simple games. Us mature teens and adults will struggle to find well-made games because why would a dev spend so much longer making a great game when they can spend much less making a simpler game and get more publicity? Hell, Dead Rails is literally made from a developer that is known for being lazy, literally, and Dead Rails itself is lazy as hell. Like, it's so low quality. How the hell has it got 700k players? Because of this. So the problem isn't us, it's Roblox. Roblox encourages this. They encourage devs to make simple but addicting games because it makes them a fuck ton of money. If they advertise more complex games, then they won't get as much money. Simple as. Now, I feel that's about it for my yapping sesh. I really wanted to cover this topic and express my feelings about how shitty this platform really is. In reality, Roblox is like every other company, greedy and careless. You can't expect companies to prioritize what's right over money. So instead, you'll just have to look for games, because there is good games on Roblox, you just have to look for them. Alright, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a big fat like, subscribe, comment down below if you want to share your opinions or develop on anything I said. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day and goodbye.